How's everybody doing? PR back with another edition of the Top 3, where we look at 3 different examples from a specific sports category. Every franchise has instances of times where players make smart decisions that help their team win the game. Some more than others, of course. A smart play could be the difference between a close loss and a close win, and sometimes, when they're in the clutch, they're instrumental in your team winning. This video will discuss my top 3 examples of games where a player, a group of players, or a coach made a smart decision on offense, defense, and special teams that helped the Eagles win the game since I've been a fan. Before we begin, what is an instance where a smart decision helped your team win a game? Tell us in the comment section below because I would like to read it. Okay, let's get into it. As we have stated before in these top 3 videos, former Eagles running back Brian Westbrook was an instrumental player for the Eagles during the Andy Reid era. Almost every single time he got the ball, he always had a chance to do something dynamic. Oftentimes, opposing coaches and commentators referred to him as Waldo, and always made sure of where he was on the field because he was one of those players who could make opponents pay if he went uncovered. Because of this, he was a fan favorite and helped the Eagles out of many pickles during his career, and was always a part of my fantasy football team. That last part isn't very important right now, but it'll be important later. The 2007 season was a down year for the Eagles, but it was an up year for Westbrook, who earned All-Pro honors at the running back position at the end of the season. The Eagles would find themselves at 5-8 and have a slim chance of going to the playoffs, playing against the 12-1 Dallas Cowboys, who were basic shoo-ins for a first-round bye and whose only loss was to the best regular season team in NFL history, the future 18-1 New England Patriots. This was a Cowboys team that would send 13 players to the Pro Bowl and were riding high with their Pro Bowl quarterback in Tony Romo and All-Pro wide receiver, the former Eagle Terrell Owens. The issue? The Dallas Cowboys forgot how to play and also forgot how to score touchdowns, as Tony Romo would score 0 of, and Romo would be picked off 3 times by Quentin Michael, Brian Dawkins, and Lito Shepherd. Romo seemed to be too fixated on his new girlfriend, Jessica Simpson, to care about playing well because he and the Cowboys offense looked lost. Their defense did play extremely hard though, limiting the Eagles to 10 points in the whole game. Winning the game 10-6, the Eagles faced a 1st and 10 with 2 minutes and 19 seconds on the clock. In the huddle, veteran tackle Jon Runyan told Brian Westbrook, "If you get the first down, just kneel the ball at the 1-yard line in order to ice the win." The Eagles had lost their last 3 games by a total of 10 points against the Patriots, Seahawks, and Giants, so they were taking no chances. Brian Westbrook would take the carry up the middle, he would go to the outside, dodging defenders along the way. Finally, he would take a knee at the 1-yard line, and that is how the game would end. During the replay, the only thing that we saw was old Jon Runyan, number 69, running down the field with his finger pointed at the ground, telling Westbrook to take a knee. And take a knee he did. While the Eagles won, everyone who had Brian Westbrook on their teams felt sick because he forced all of them to lose. Unfortunately, the Eagles wouldn't go to the playoffs and the Cowboys would. However, from that day on, pink Tony Romo jerseys were never worn again, and Jessica Simpson was barred from attending future Cowboys games because of how much of a jinx she was. I don't know if that's actually true, but it sounds like a good story and I'm gonna stick to it. It also outlines the fact that sometimes running up the score isn't a smart thing, especially when there's some time on the clock and you are playing against a team that is not only better than you, but also more talented. Everyone knows that for years, people joked about the Eagles' lack of success in making it to Super Bowls, and they surely made their rounds in 2017 after league MVP candidate Carson Wentz was lost for the season in a Week 14 game against the Rams. However, this was a team where it didn't matter who was playing for it and who was injured, they were getting to that Super Bowl. They made it all the way to that Super Bowl, and before that they were hosting the NFC Championship game against the best defense in the league. As an Eagles fan, I was just happy and proud to be there. But fans really felt shafted because just a week earlier, Commissioner Roger Goodell attended the Saints vs Vikings divisional playoff game. During the game, he sits down next to a sweet old lady named Millie that was like 99 years old and personally gives her a ticket to the Super Bowl, which would take place 3 weeks from then at that very stadium. Eagles fans felt like the NFL was just going to try to rig the NFC Championship game so the Vikings would end up in the Super Bowl at their home stadium. It was looking like this very thing was going to happen after quarterback Case Keenum led an opening drive touchdown to Kyle Rudolph to put the Eagles in an always recognizable 7-0 hole. The Eagles would go 3 and out on their next drive, and the Vikings would be in position to add to their lead. The Vikings were at around their own 45, and Keenum would take a shotgun snap and would be pressured heavily by free agent acquisition Chris Long off the corner. As Keenum released the pass intended for Adam Thielen, Chris Long would make contact with Keenum's arm during his follow-through, and the pass would be intercepted by another free agent acquisition, Patrick Robinson, who would start down the left side, then switch sides to the other side of the field, and after picking up numerous blocks, would end up in the end zone for a touchdown to tie the game up on a 14-point swing. We all know that the Eagles would score 31 consecutive points after this to win the game 38-7, and then go straight to Minnesota to beat Tom Brady and the Patriots, then hoist the Lombardi Trophy on the Vikings field. And it was all because Chris Long was smart enough to attack Case Keenum's throwing shoulder only a bit after he threw it, because if he hadn't, the Eagles might not have won the Super Bowl. One of my favorite/least favorite plays in the NFL is the onside kick. When it is used correctly, it can knock opposing teams off their game and can help your team win. However, you could be on the wrong side of a surprise onside kick and you could lose an opening possession. I wouldn't recommend using the onside kick on a regular basis because there is an extremely low chance of the ball being recovered by your team, especially under current NFL rules. One of my favorite onside kicks occurred in the famous Week 15 game in 2010 between the 9-4 Eagles and the 9-4 Giants at MetLife Stadium. The Eagles found themselves in a 31-10 hole with around 8 minutes left in the game. Thankfully, Michael Vick would help the Eagles score a touchdown on a deep pass to tight end Brent Selleck, and the Eagles would be down by 2 touchdowns. On the ensuing kickoff, Andy Reid had longtime kicker David Akers, who had many legendary onside kicks, commit a surprise onside kick that would be recovered by Riley Cooper. Thanks to this, the Eagles were able to score a Michael Vick rushing touchdown and a Jeremy Maclin receiving touchdown, which made the game a 31-31 tie, going into the last minute of the game, thanks to an Eli Manning sack by Trevor Laws. The Giants were forced to punt with 14 seconds left to send the game into overtime. Of course, rookie kicker Matt Dodge would punt the ball right to Deshaun Jackson, he would muff the punt, then, with blocking in front of him, would run the punt for a touchdown with time expiring. The Eagles had pulled off one of the biggest miracles in their franchise history, and one of the underrated plays in the game was the fact that they tried a surprise onside kick to get the ball back to save time. Thank you guys for watching this episode of Top 3. If you had a smart play that a player made in a game for your team, please discuss it in the comments section below. Also, if you have a topic you'd like to discuss in a future episode, please also talk about it. Thank you and have a good day.